Panda Bluegrass State. This is Your Two Dads.
Your Two Dads.
Two real dads giving you the real news.
Like Trump said that every state should send their National Guard to defend Texas and defend America. Hell yeah, you should. Send them on down. Texas is lovely this time of year, especially Eagle Pass. It's great. Good morning, everybody. I'm JJ. That's the king of the wild frontier, Dave. This is Deaky Crockett right up here. And we are Your Two Dads. We don't count so good. We drink coffee Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning. We read the news and talk politics, and we tell jokes. We tell jokes.
To your mouth, sir.
Me?
You.
Really? You never tell me to get the mic closer to me.
Yeah. You've changed your settings, and now you need.
I have.
Is your volume
Deke,
right, Deke?
Yeah, Deke, your volume is down too. Everybody's
As you
messed
can
up.
tell, welcome to Your Two Dads, and the most professional operation and podcast that you'll find on the internet.
It's Reestern's fault.
anywhere.
It's
I just had to turn it off and turn it back on.
Hello.
Yeah, reboot.
How about
Yeah, hello.
Nice.
What's up?
How are you?
Deke always makes us feel warm in the morning. You hear his voice and you just cuddle up. I'm like, oh, that's a dad right there. Good morning, everybody. Okay, we got a lot to talk about, I'm sure. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. We're not in a civil war yet. We're not in World War III yet. But
Week's not over.
yeah, week's not over yet. So we'll never see. We'll see what's going on. If Deke stops dying from drinking coffee down the wrong pipe over there, he might tell us something.
I forgot. I've been drinking coffee all morning, and it was like lukewarm. And I went in there and I put more in it, and it was hot.
Mhm.
And I wasn't thinking. And I just took it and downed it real quick. It like, I think it did something to the back of my throat. I've got that little, when you got that that you can't get rid
Got a
of.
little frog in your throat.
And I keep coughing because it's making me cough. And of course, coughing makes my eyes water, and I have to keep wiping my eyes. So I can't see shit because I have to take off my glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But good morning. I feel like I'm screaming now.
My favorite way to warm up my coffee is just take my coffee and pour it back in the pot and then pour it back into my cup. But it's my coffee pot, so I don't care what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, my coffee was getting cold last week at the little camp out thing, and so I put it on top of the stove to heat up. And just a few moments, and I wasn't even thinking, and I went to grab the coffee cup because it's dual lined. And that was a mistake. It was the cup was so hot. The coffee wasn't, but the cup was. Oh my word!
Is it like one of those Yetis that's like stainless steel or metal or something like that?
No Yetis. It has to be period accurate. So it was metal.
So for folks that don't
metal
know,
conducts.
you last weekend did this primitive camping thing that you do. You've done it before, but this past weekend where you camped, there was snow, a lot of snow, and you had ice. Was it you had ice in your beard?
Ice in the beard Friday night. It was so cold. There were flakes in the mustache as well. It was negative 15 with the wind chill, which for those of you who prefer Celsius, because I know we have some German listeners, that's like negative 25.
Yeah, it's about negative 25 Celsius.
So it was cold. We all survived, of course. I brought all of my digits back.
You had a couple pictures. Didn't you have a couple pictures?
Oh, I've got a whole album.
Well, we don't need to see the whole album, but let people see your teepee. You had a teepee with a
the teepee wasn't ours. The teepee
Oh.
was the individual right in front of us, but he didn't set up the teepee because it was too cold for him. There's usually like 200 people at this, 100 people to 200. There was 25 this time.
So what you're saying is out of 200 people, 25 of you are insane.
That reminds me of a thing. Scott Adams, the famous Dilbert artist, has a kind of ongoing joke, which is if you survey people on any question, on average, no matter what the question, no matter how simple the question, 25% of people will get the answer wrong. 25%. So if there's normally 100 people at your event, only 25 showed up. That's you guys. Dumb.
We had a blast, man. We had a blast. There was no way we were going to freeze. We knew what we were doing. Unlike some students from college that don't know how to Never mind.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I know what you're saying. You guys knew what was going on. You didn't just go out there and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we're stuck."
We didn't have our North Face jackets on. And
You
all
weren't
this other
surprised
stuff.
that it was going to be negative 15. You had done your
We
research.
knew exactly what
Hey,
we were doing.
Is this reliving like the Civil War era, or is it prior to
So this is 1700s to 1840s.
that? Okay.
So you are just pre-Civil War.
Okay.
And it's just a reenactment group. They
You might be
started from
living in a pre-Civil War right now.
which is why I love doing this, because I'm getting ready. I'm prepared, man. Deke, I'm going to bring you to one of these weekends. Okay. You're coming with me.
One of my good friends, he's like my brother. He's not my blood brother, but he's like a brother to me. He does reenacting. He used to do reenacting for the History Channel. And when he had a woodcut, which some people call a top knot, but it's called a woodcut that the Native Americans had. And for a long time, he does it now. He's a dad. But he was on the History Channel. He portrayed Blackfoot on the History Channel, a young Blackfoot making his first kill and stuff. And he looked just like he stepped out of a book. And he used to dress up and put the red paint on and go over there. And he looked just like he stepped out of a book. He had a pipe, a tobacco pipe, stone tobacco pipe, and he had a piece of glass. And that he would sit there and light it with the glass, and people would flock around and take pictures of him. And all he's doing is just trying to light his tobacco as we're walking along. And I would dress up in old clothes and would walk along with him. And we never did this, but what we were going to do, we just never got permission to do it, was he was going to bind me, the white man, and he was going to be marching me around with his war paint on that he had captured me, and he was going to tie me to a tree and offer me for trade or sacrifice or whatnot. And we never got a chance to do that. I wanted to do that so bad. He was like, "Do you mind walking around with rope tied around your arms?" I was like, "Nope. That sounds great. Let's do that. That sounds great." We used to get, I told him one day, I was like, "We're in so many people's picture albums where they're looking through their pictures and like, who are those two guys?" Because people would stop us and take pictures of us.
I'll bring you out this summer.
It sounds great.
It's going to be a blast, man.
All right, JJ, I got you one last song today. I think you're going to like this one for our song of the day. This week's theme was live from Daryl's house, Daryl Hall, John Oates.
Yeah.
Some good stuff all week long. And this week, this is another good one that I think you'll like because they talk about playing it at the beginning, but it's Kenny Loggins. I'm all right. Don't nobody worry about me. And this is a great version. They jam in this version a little bit. It's wonderful. So check this one out. This is a good song of the day today. Have you watched any of these? No, I didn't figure you did. Oh,
do you get decent YouTube service when you're out in 1840? Probably not.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Listen,
Only
man,
in the tents.
I saw
Only in the
on your
tents.
photo you had plastic bins to keep that food away from raccoons.
That was when we were setting up. We had all the tent stuff in the plastic bins.
All right. All right. Hey, folks, if you haven't already, please hit us up, like, and subscribe. I had to choke down some of my personal pride a little bit and rebrand the YouTube channel. It used to be named after myself because it was just my channel, but we do this show all the time, and I'm so dedicated to telling dad jokes to you and reading you the news Monday through Friday that I renamed the channel. So if you are watching on YouTube, the YouTube channel is now youtube.com/your_2dads. So if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. Or better yet, go over to rumble.com/JGW where we're still doing the show. I haven't figured out how to change anything over there yet, but that's our YouTube channel. Go check it out. That's where you're watching the show right now, probably, unless you're smart and you're already on YouTube, on Rumble. All right, the news. As you guys know, we have been not marching towards civil war, sort of like just scooting over to it a little bit, just inching, just getting a little close.
Yeah,
a little bit close.
Getting in position.
It's not a war per se, but like we're just kind of like in conflict. Just in conflict. So Trump has said that willing states should deploy their National Guard to Texas. Those Biden has left in should not get comfortable because they will be going home, Trump wrote.
Hey, I got to do something real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep, for sure, bud. So he posted over on Truth Social these two posts, and Governor Greg Abbott's declaration that there's an invasion happening. When I was the president, we had the most secure border in history. That's Donald Trump. Joe Biden has surrendered our border and is aiding and abetting a massive invasion of millions of illegal immigrants into the United States. Instead of fighting to protect our country from this onslaught, Biden has unbelievably fighting to tie the hands of Governor Abbott in the state of Texas so that the invasion continues unchecked. In the face of the national security, public safety, and public health catastrophe, Texas has invoked the invasion clause of the Constitution and must be given full support to repel the invasion. Let's see. We encourage all willing states to deploy. Let's see if I can. To deploy their guards to Texas to prevent the entry of illegals and remove them back to the border. All Americans should support the common sense measures by Texas authorities to protect safety, security, and sovereignty of the U.S. and the American people. When I am president on day one, instead of fighting Texas, I will work hand in hand with the Governor Abbott and other border states to stop the invasion. So that is Donald Trump on Truth Social. Over here on, I've been watching this map kind of like coalesce, because it hasn't been real clear like who's supporting Texas and who isn't. We got some news stories that we had yesterday, I think we talked about the governor of Oklahoma tweeted, we stand with Texas. Ron DeSantis posted a little video. We will continue providing material support to Texas. Florida has been sending guard and supplies to help out and stuff like that. A few other states, I think we mentioned Montana, South Dakota, Georgia. That's Governor Kemp in Georgia. The map is actually growing day by day. And there are, according to, this is on End Wokeness on Twitter, but this is the current map. Alaska, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, I think that's Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and of course, Oklahoma and Texas. And way up there, it looks like New Hampshire, even New Hampshire. Did you guys imagine that this is going to be?
I could be wrong, and I'm Googling it right now, but I think there are 27 Republican states.
Yeah.
Which Vermont was the holdout, and I don't know what the other holdout state was, unless we're counting Texas, which would make sense. So 25 states joined with Texas. So 25, they're all Republicans, except for Vermont.
Right.
And the rest are all Democratic states. That's not a political statement. That's just hey, here's a something fact we can see.
Right.
I wonder if there's a correlation between the two.
There might be. I mean, certainly, governors have the authority to, mobilize their own National Guard, and they can make their own statements. In your state, you guys live in Kentucky. I think you have a Republican legislature and a Democratic governor, and unlikely that Andy Beshear would endorse the security of the border. But if your state legislature basically passed a resolution to do so, he might be compelled to. It might give him the escape clause to be able to support the Republicans by saying, well, my hands are tied. The people.
Andy Beshear is a weak man that we all knew in high school, that we really didn't have anything to, you don't have anything. He's a weak little weakling whose daddy had a lot of money, that he always got his way. And now that he got a little bit of power, something happened during that time that made him feel like he had all the power in the world. And since he had all the power in the world over Kentuckians for a couple of years, he thinks that he is the grand savior, that what he is, I am doing good for the people of Kentucky. This is for your own good, my children. that
Yeah,
this is the end of my TED
weak.
talk.
He's weak. He's weak. Oh,
I
I mean,
reversed
you
the
know,
mirror. I reversed the mirror of my image, so everything is spelled out correctly now.
Oh,
yeah. How'd you do that? I don't know how you did that.
Magic. There's a setting that says mirror image on.
Miss Danger, Miss
video.
Danger. Good morning. Good morning. Have you guys heard about the Chinese Communist Piano Gate over in London? Check it out. Probably interest and amuse you. I
It
don't know
probably
anything
involves
about Piano
pianist.
Gate.
hey, what'd you say?
Said it probably involves pianist.
Is this a big movement? Is it growing?
I love that from. Do you all remember that Animaniacs? Did y'all watch that when we were
Oh
kids?
yeah.
Yes.
Back when TV
When
was
Beethoven was on there and he says, "I'm a pianist," and Yakko says, "You kiss your mom with that mouth."
Kiss your mom with that mouth?
good.
How did they get that on TV?
We didn't
Dude, that is
catch
just-
it back then, but you go back and you
Yes.
watch all that stuff. I was watching some
There was
Bugs Bunny
no
cartoons
DVR.
and those old Bugs Bunny cartoons, and she was, the old grandma took her glasses off one day and she was like, cataracts. I didn't get that crap when I was a kid, but I was laughing. So yeah, it's funny.
Oh, I think
I don't
this
want to
might
talk
be
about
it.
Texas
Hold
too much today, JJ, because every time you
right.
talk about Texas, my freaking blood pressure goes up.
on. Well, I was just
I know,
showing you
I'm just teasing.
the map of the forthcoming Civil War. Because it looks
know.
like it's not north and south. It's kind of like middle versus the edges.
It should
Right.
Kentucky and Illinois should be in there, but the only reason Kentucky and
will
Illinois
never be in there.
the only reason Kentucky and Illinois are not in there is because of 3 cities.
Mm-hmm.
3 cities in 2 states keep both of those states out.
Well, put a fence up.
What's the third city?
It don't
No, we
work.
got
We put razor wire.
Chicago.
We put razor wire
Chicago
around
and
Chicago, Louisville, and Lexington.
You're gonna count. Lexington's barely a city.
They
Put a fence
freaking
around
they were
Louisville,
blue.
and
Yes,
and they'll probably come around.
So me and JJ talked about one day. I was like, Kentucky's got 120 counties. It's one of the states that has the most counties, and 118 of them were red.
It's not
Yeah.
117.
Well,
It
if
might have
you
been
look,
117.
What
If you
Warren
look at-
County,
Maybe.
Bowling Green?
Maybe.
if you look at
No,
voting
I always
maps
thought it was
by the
green.
county level, most of the time it's like red, but the high concentration areas are totally blue, and it's just tilted that way. And fair enough. Here's what Miss Danger was talking about. This is a surprise to all of us. Check this out. 6
Wow.
Chinese people demanded that a British pianist remove their faces from his public live stream. The ensuing fight has gone viral. Now, this is in Britain, and I don't know what kind of weird shit laws you guys got. We have if you're in public, there's no expectation of privacy in public in the U.S. So
In the U.S.
yeah, you walk in front of a camera in the U.S., tough shit. But I don't know what it's like in the UK. So a confrontation between a group of Chinese people and a pianist in London has gone viral on YouTube. Pianist Brendan Kavanagh, who has about 2.1 million subscribers on YouTube, started a live stream with a camera person on Friday at a public piano in St. Pancras International Station. Very cold, very, very cold in London today. It was like -4, but somebody's put purple balloons on the piano, so it's all as well, I guess. Okay. Anyway, so these people don't like being on TV, but they're standing in front of a camera. That's crazy. Okay.
Trying to get money.
Probably. That's probably true. All right. Andy, you had a story in here about Alabama. I think was it Andy or was it Dave? Dave, did you do that story in there? Who put that story in there?
Yeah, the execution yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'll fix it next time. CBS News, you guys can go F yourselves.
Sorry.
Man, I'm not actually going to fix it. CBS News. I can't show this story because it's ad.
Why do I never have ads? What am I? I've got to be living
I don't
right
know.
or something.
I don't know.
Oh, wait. I'll fix it next time. There we go.
Yeah.
So I'll just
Share your page out.
I'll share the page. I think I can do that. Alabama, right there. Bam. All right. So this guy was involved in a murder for hire situation back in the 80s, killed a pastor's wife or was hired to kill a pastor's wife. And I guess he did because he ended up on death row. They attempted to execute him 2020-ish, but it was a failed lethal injection execution. I don't remember if the stuff was expired or not, but who knows? It failed. So they decided to execute him.
What?
Yeah. They decided to execute him with nitrogen, which amounts to suffocation.
This is horrendous.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know several
bullets
of my...
are not that much. I mean, you can get them at Walmart.
I have
and
some right here, over here.
Yeah, they work. You know,
Yeah,
Sister Minister's got a bow and arrow back there. He's got a bow in his back, and that's proven to have worked for like thousands of years now.
Holy jeez, dude.
So he was officially executed yesterday, and there's legal concerns about whether or not this violates torture laws. Because
so what about the pastor and the pastor's wife and all the people that I mean, they tortured because they suffered because of this man? And I mean, I honestly believe in that old man saying, son, that old wheel will come all the way back around again. Sometimes you're high, sometimes you're low, but it'll always come back high. It's karma. And this guy got karma.
It brings up for me, it brings up a question of pro-life. Because I know a lot of Christians are very pro-life. And what they mean, preventing abortion. And I kind of see life as something that starts at conception. I'm old school like that. And it ends at death. So if I'm going to be pro-life, I've kind of got to look through the whole thing. I don't know what to do with situations like this. This guy is guilty of a capital offense.
Right.
But and there's a lot of people in jail that should not be in jail. We can agree with that, right?
Absolutely.
So
you got corrupt DAs like Fannie Willis or Kamala Harris that will run over people that don't get a good defense. It's true.
This guy deserves to be in prison. I don't know about. I struggle.
Okay,
with
so
death.
Let's separate the two issues. Okay, so we have the issue of whether or not we should even have a death penalty, or whether or not the state should have the ability or right or whatever to terminate citizens. That's a whole separate question.
That's a whole separate question.
And then we have the question of, should we use nitrogen gas to kill people that we're going to kill?
Well, the first question that you have to ask yourself is the first one. What do you feel about it? And I'm kind of like you, Dave, but I think my problem is, I've always been like, screw him. He done that.
Yeah,
Paid the price. Yeah, he's guilty. But as I get older, you know, I'm 46. I'll be 47 this year. As I get older, I am more trying so hard to embrace the life is life. I'm not the judge. I cannot control other people's actions. I can only control my actions. And I should love trees and bugs and every piece of life. I don't need to have
except for
hate.
Spiders, not spiders.
Spiders are fine with me.
Die. Nope, kill them.
JJ doesn't like tree lobsters. We found out yesterday. There's only 30 left in the world. He wants to kill all of them.
They taste good.
So that's the problem I'm having is that, I really think this guy you murder 19 people. You're on public execution. I even made a joke the other day. Me and Ashley's talking about something and I made a joke. I was like, you know what? If back in the day they would string these people up and, you know, Vlad Tepes Dracul spiked his enemies. He impaled his enemies. Vlad the Impaler, who Dracula was written after, was a real man. Vlad Tepes Dracul was his name, and he impaled his enemies on pikes and put them out. So can you imagine? That's why they used to do you walk into a town back in the day and there's two guys hung, two bodies hanging there dead. And there's a sign on it that says thief, horse thief or something. That you know what that tells you? That's a sign that says, "Hi, welcome to our town. Don't steal horses."
Right.
Yeah.
So the problem
So-
is we don't do that anymore. And I was making that joke. I was like, the problem is we don't do that anymore in America. If we had a bunch of politicians hanging in Washington, a bunch of skeletons, it's like corrupt politicians stole billions, put these people in the poorhouse, put this state in the poorhouse, people would think twice. But are we a civilized society? I don't want to be that way. I want to be a
Right.
civilized society, and I want to be like, come on.
Well,
But
would a civilized
I need-
society mean people don't do things anymore because they realize there are consequences?
no,
I
I honestly
that's civilized.
believe that we will never have a utopian society.
Oh,
We
never.
can't
Oh,
do
yeah.
it. It's going to
Why?
take
Why?
It's going to take the next evolution of human brain and consciousness. What something. Me and someone was talking about autism one day, and that subject came up, and I was like, "Oh, I always heard the theory that the autistic people might be the next step in the first step in our next evolution, because a lot of they don't have narcissism and greed, and they don't have all these terrible things that we have. Or who's really the ones that are damaged, the autistic people or us?
Well, I think
we're the
Dave and I
damaged ones.
both
you
agree
ever
with you.
been around an
We're not going to have any peaceful utopian
Utopia?
society. That's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to
But
happen.
it's-
It will
it's
never
not
happen
because
with
of
humans.
evolution.
Never, never.
If we're going to have capital punishment, obviously states acting out, so it's not like I'm pulling the trigger.
Right.
But if we're going to have it, I think it needs to be you're dead.
Fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. So
Bring back the guillotine.
so here so
that wasn't instant either.
I'm kidding.
I mean, it's really difficult because the first thing is like, well, if anybody's going to kill a criminal, it should be the state, right? But the state's corrupt, and the state has and will use this power to simply dominate citizens, and they will lie about who committed crimes. They will
But is
have
it the state that's doing it? Is it the state, or is it the private prison organization that's doing it? Because I don't know this. I mean, when the inmate goes to these prisons are not like, it's not the state prison. They send
Not
them
all of
to
them are.
not all of them are state and
private.
government organizations. A lot of them are, hey guys, you want to start a prison? You want to put some money and make a prison, and we go through the right. That's what it is. I don't know this.
We were talking about
Who
death
does
penalty
the
cases in
execution? Who's
particular.
responsible for the executions there in those private, or do they do them in the state facilities?
I think
Like
it's
if he was in a
state
private prison, do
facility.
they move them to a state
There's-
facility where they could be
There's
executed?
not a lot of federal executions. Usually,
I
those
I don't
are
know.
state cases.
I know that we have here in Western Kentucky, we have Kentucky State Penitentiary.
Mhm.
And it's called the Castle on the River. It's it's right there on the lake, the Castle on the
Yeah.
lake. It's an old building. It looks, and they did executions there. I mean, I can remember as a kid them having the executions over there, and it was electric chair executions.
Which,
And
if
most
it's
of-
done
most
right,
of
is instantaneous. I learned this past week. Do you know how many volts it takes to kill a human being? I mean, more people are killed by 110 electricity than 220, but everybody's scared of 220, so they respect it. They don't
Right.
respect 110. But do
Right.
you know how many volts it takes to kill a person? 1/10 of a volt is all it
Really?
takes to kill a person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
And-
amperage that stops your
and
heart.
we lick the
amperage,
9-volt
yeah.
batteries all the time.
Yeah, it's amperage.
Yeah,
Go this summer. Get a voltage meter
Mhm.
and stick one end of the ground and hold the other one,
Uh-huh.
and get the voltage of the ground, and then take off your shoes and stand on the ground barefoot and test it again. Just do that this summer.
Okay.
It's really
I'll do it
interesting.
now.
so
It's
We
not
in,
all
bad.
need to be barefoot on the ground. We need to be touching the ground. We need to ground our human selves to the ground. JJ's laughing, but it's true. We're electricity. The earth is electricity. We need to ground ourselves, and we have rubber soles all the time, separating us from the electric ground.
Sometimes I
Okay,
have
go
leather
barefoot.
soles because I do moccasins. And
As you can
Okay.
tell, we don't have many stories today, ladies and gentlemen. So that we're
well, I don't know. Did we grapple enough with this execution? I just think the idea of nitrogen as a way to kill a prisoner is like
horrible.
Yeah, this
he was
this
probably
method they
gasping.
don't
He was like,
veterinarians don't even use this method to
That's-
kill pets.
That's right. That was in the story. It's right there. It says the use in 2020, the American Veterinary Medical Association advised against the use of nitrogen gas as a way to euthanize most animals, calling it distressing. Now, on the other hand, this guy's a murderer, so I mean, like, distressing, but like, fuck him, kind of. You know, I mean,
bad guy.
I don't know how it works. Like, you can breathe carbon dioxide, for instance, or carbon monoxide, right? Monoxide.
Yeah.
And not know you're breathing it. And you just kind of pass out.
You just
you fall asleep.
Yeah. I don't know if nitrogen does the same thing or if helium does that too.
Yeah, that's true. Too many people do
remember
whip it
people
sometimes.
But if you
Darwin
die from
Award.
helium, you die with a really cool voice. So you'll be something like this in eternity forever.
And you just kind of like float up to heaven. Oh
Maybe
my
those
God.
maybe
So
those people
dark.
that have naturally high voices that talk like this, maybe in the past life that's how they died. They died from a helium overdose.
Oh my
And that's
God.
why they
Although-
talk like this now.
There we go. Just kill people with overdoses. Give them
All right, we got a
large
Just
fentanyl and
give them a bunch of meth.
we have
Let
an
it sit in the
update.
room.
We have an update on the Fannie Willis situation. I'm
Wait,
changing.
before you move to that, I've got an idea. This sparked an idea. Okay, give them a bunch of meth and put them in a room that is a completely white room, and there's like red
Black curtains?
splattered paint all over the walls and everything, and just leave them in there. There was a celebrity I watched on MTV Cribs one time that was a motorbike guy or something, and one of his rooms, he had a lot of parties in his house. So he said one of his rooms upstairs was a completely white room with a bed on chains in the middle of the room, a big like queen size bed. That's the only thing in the room. Everything was white, and the bed was suspended, so it was a swinging bed, and it looked red splattered paint everywhere. It looked like a blood scene. And he was like, when people get drunk and pass out at my house, we come up here and put them in this bed. So when they wake up in the morning, they wake up in that crazy ass room and freak out. So yeah, do that to them. So sorry.
All right.
go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna change topics here. We're gonna talk about Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis is the DA that is Fannie Willis is the DA that is attempting to bring charges against Donald Trump, and there's like this ongoing court battle. Recently, we found out allegedly that Fannie Willis is hired her lover to be the prosecutor in this case, has diverted nearly $600,000 in taxpayer funds to Nathan Wade, and has then gone on vacations with him and basically enriched herself by enriching her boyfriend, which you would think would be criminal. So the allegations are being resulting in a hearing by the judge in February, and it looks like Fannie Willis is going to be subpoenaed to provide some information, but that's not all. Just the News has filed a complaint with the Georgia Attorney General after the Fulton County District Attorney's Office failed to meet the deadline to respond to an Open Records Act, seeking information on the office's contact with the Biden administration. So part of this story is that Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade have been to the White House and probably coordinated with the Biden administration in order to bring charges against Trump, in order to sabotage Trump's nomination as the Republican nominee, and therefore help Joe Biden get reelected in 2024. So Just the News put in basically a records request, and the law in Georgia says you have to respond to the records request, and if you cannot deliver the records, you have to provide a notice within 3 days of how, when, and why you will respond to the records request. And surprising absolutely no one, the office of Fannie Willis didn't do jack-ish. Just the News requested records of any meetings and any communication between Willis and her prosecutor and the White House or Justice Department officials. The 3-day deadline for the response from Willis elapsed last week. Under Georgia law, if an entity receives a records request, is unable to produce documents, it's required to provide a description and timeline, which they have not done. So it's like
this is nothing new, really. I mean,
it's just stuff keeps stacking, though.
This stuff happens all the time to us. we have asked for open records and stuff like that. Other media, local media places have asked for open records and stuff like that from local governments here in Western Kentucky when corrupt stuff is going on, and it has ended up coming out that it was corrupt, afterwards, and they don't ever release. And these lawsuits have been filed here in small towns. I'm sure we're not the only ones. This stuff, just because they're like, we filed an Open Records Act, it's going to give them a lot of time to do whatever the crap they want to.
Right.
But
when they don't respond, there's a reason, right?
They're
obligated by law. If they're obligated by law and they don't respond, there's probably a reason.
When I walk into the living room and there's chocolate syrup all over the table and the couch, and I go to my child's room and he's got chocolate all over his clothes and his face, and I ask him, son, did you make the mess in the living room? And he goes,
no,
and doesn't respond. Yeah,
it's because his sister pushed him through it, and she told him not to say anything, or she would get him back. And so,
I've been framed. I've been framed.
It wasn't me. It was.
It looks exactly like Fani Willis is an incompetent and person who's got an agenda.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
But is there something that can legally prevent an open request act from being fulfilled in a timely manner?
I'm sure.
Like a legal,
but the law says if you can't or won't, you have to
is.
respond with the statement of like, I can't do that right now, or I will. Yes. Like you have to respond in some way. And Fani Willis was just like, delete that email or throw that record in the trash. I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen. You can't do that. She's terrible. Anyway, it's gonna be amusing to watch her continue to. He has no comment.
We need this right here. Hang on. I got you.
I need my own little.
We'll put up a sign that a whole page that says Dave has no comment. Here's the last thing, then we can move on.
I don't know what Deke's doing.
I don't know what he's doing.
Just keep going. Keep going.
Dave says no comment. Okay, that's fair.
No comment, man.
Here's one last thing. View tab. Is this the right tab? Because it doesn't look right. There we go. Okay. South Carolina, I believe, is the next primary election. I don't know when that's coming up, but that's the next one. Currently, Trump is leading Haley in South Carolina by almost 30 points. So, yeah. And nationally, Trump is leading her by over 50 points. So we'll see if Nikki Haley is going to continue to take Democrat dollars, because that's what's keeping her in the game right now. She is siphoning off Democrat dollars and putting them in her campaign, or if she's going to drop out.
I would be surprised, or I'm interested to see what happens after South Carolina, because that is her stomping ground, right? That's her home state. That's where she was governor.
She's losing in South Carolina by 30 points.
Right,
in her own state. This is a sham campaign.
I don't believe all the. This is where the votes are headed right now. Yeah, I'll wait till after I see what happens.
Oh, there was this one other thing. Ronna McDaniel, which is the chair of the GOP, called for essentially Nikki Haley to drop out of the race so that they can consolidate around Donald Trump. Right. Some Republicans floated the measure like we should just pass a resolution stating that Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee. That is, we're gonna pass this measure that says like we're pretty sure this is the guy, so we're gonna act like it. Donald Trump said, no, don't do that. Let the process carry out. He's gonna continue just stomping the shit out of Nikki Haley and everybody else. So here we go.
The state of this country right now. A woman president. I don't have any problem with, but we need a leader.
My wife would. My wife doesn't want a woman president.
That's odd you say that, because neither does Ashley. Isn't it funny?
Julie doesn't care.
Yeah, It's I think it's more like we have to be like respectful of the, other gender, and the other gender's like, no, they crazy sometimes.
Did y'all ever watch Sliders?
Absolutely.
Sci-fi show?
Yeah.
There was an episode where they went to a world that was completely matriarch ran.
Yep. I remember that episode.
Oh my word. It was so like, oops. I do need to grab this. I'm going to
go ahead. Yeah, do it.
We'll talk about Sliders in a minute. That's a good show. The South Carolina primary election is the next one. It is February 3rd for 55 Democratic delegates. Is that why? I don't know why this is not. Oh, that's a share button. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know when the Republican primary is in South Carolina. Anyway, she's not doing too good there. Okay, that's all, Deke.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I want to talk about
the entire
Arturo
police
and Sliders
department
now.
has the Chips theme. So when that goes off,
Oh, it's a police call. That's funny.
it's a police call. Got to
Hey, I
answer.
got y'all one. JJ, you'll like this one.
Yeah.
Did you know that Japan landed a
That's amazing.
No, you
Here?
didn't? No, me
Landed
neither.
here or landed on the moon?
Yeah. Landed on the
Wait,
moon.
they didn't lose it in
Japan-
space. It didn't run out of gas. They didn't crash it.
No. Dude, the
What?
Japanese they became the 5th nation ever to pull off a soft lunar touchdown, and a new photo provides visual evidence of that success. Resting on gray dirt there's the photo of the moon from the Japanese people. Can you not
Hey, zoom
Why
in.
did you
Is
do
that
that?
an anime sticker on the side?
hang on? Let me hang on.
Did it include a girl robot?
It did. There you go. This is the view from the Gundam's cockpit. Wouldn't that be awesome if the Japanese were like, yo, we put a Gundam on the moon, if that's cool with you. So that
That's
any
fine.
aliens that
Do
come
it.
to Earth, there's a giant Gundam standing on the freaking moon. I would be
Yeah.
like, roll the windows up. We ain't stopping by Earth.
Put a robot
Roll them up.
here.
We just going on to Venus.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, I thought you'd like that. Japan is on the moon, and we're gonna have moon samurais. I think I've got that in my watch list on Amazon Prime. Moon samurais. If not,
Is
we
that-
need to make
Is
that.
that a show?
Who-
Really?
Which one of y'all watched Velocipaster?
That was him. He
I
watched it.
started it. I couldn't get anybody to come join me. I got a minute 48 into it and was like 3 huge belly laughs. I'm like, come on, guys, it's family movie night.
Okay,
And
so
nobody
what we
came.
need to do is we need to have a Your Two Dads viewing party over on our Discord server one night when all 3 of us have like 2 hours, and we'll have a viewing
Not
party.
even that long.
No,
not
it's like
even
an
that
hour and a
long.
half. Yeah,
Not
it's
even an
something.
hour and a half.
Dude, that sounds fun.
And then
Yeah.
everybody that wants to join can come in our server, and we can sit there and Mystery Science Theater 3000 it.
I think that's a good idea.
Me
I'm
too.
there. 100%.
Mm.
It's all because I laughed because I was going through the stuff one day, and Ashley was sitting there, and I was like, "Oh my!" I was going through all these B movies, and when you get to one, you can go down to the other ones that it recommends. And I think
Maybe
that's
we
like
can
on the-
do like once a month. Maybe once a month we
Yes,
can watch. We can
yes.
do a view
That'd
party
be
or
great.
something.
And I thought it was
Yeah.
funny because I brought up Velocipaster one day, and both of y'all both had it in your freaking watch list.
I haven't seen it. I've seen the
Neither.
trailer.
hadn't
I
either.
watched the trailer with my
and
wife,
was like,
and I was like, "What do you think of
It's-
that?" And she was like, "You're stupid."
That's what
There's
Ashley said. She was like, "Oh my god."
The 3 reasons I had my huge belly laughs, okay? There's a car explosion, and the car is taken out of the scene, and it just says car explosion. the pastor, the priest comes out, and he turns around, and you can see that it has a Velcro strap and like a tie, so it looks like he got his priest outfit from Spirit Halloween store.
Well, he
Um,
might have. I mean, some churches don't have a big budget.
There's the last
Looks the
scene that I
same.
remember. Again, I wasn't even 2 minutes in. I was dying laughing. The main priest and the younger priest are sitting there talking, and they both have communion cups. And the younger priest looks completely sloshed because it was his parents who died, and the older priest says it's just kind of the way of life. This is how it's supposed to happen. I'm like, what is his parents just blew up in a car? What do you?
Well, that happens sometimes.
Oh, it was so good. It was so bad. It was good.
I want to watch it so bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I got an
Yeah, so
AI
you
story
can.
for you, JJ. I just got one AI story for you.
Ooh, good.
I know how much you love this. Beep, bop, boop.
Oh man,
It worked.
Oh,
Why didn't it?
man.
It worked.
Oh man,
The whole
What happened to
thing.
my page.
The whole thing.
No, it
worked.
didn't do the whole thing. It clipped out at the end. Okay.
It clipped
AI
out. It clips for
news.
me. It only goes bop boop. So I don't know.
I got AI
Yeah.
news. I got the whole
Oh,
thing.
You
okay.
do?
We'll just
Yeah.
pretend
Oh,
it
you got
worked.
the whole thing.
Just
Oh,
pretend
okay.
it worked.
So I come across this and I thought it was very interesting. AI's new Achilles heel. New research pinpoints a fundamental weakness. And I was like, okay, what is this fundamental weakness? GPT and similar machine learning based technologies are on the rise. However, even the most advanced algorithms face limitations. Researchers from the University of Copenhagen have a groundbreaking discovery, mathematically demonstrating that beyond basic problems, it's impossible to develop AI algorithms that are always stable. All right. So,
Okay.
what does that mean to me? Human brains are not stable algorithms in the very least. So,
There's a lot of them that are
if
unstable.
they
for sure.
can't convince this AI to have a stable algorithm, does that mean it's alive?
No, don't think so. I think that just means that eventually you can. I mean, I don't know what they mean by stable algorithm, but I'm gonna say
I'm going to post that story in our news channel because it gets pretty deep, and I like the deep.
because you can have an AI like give you like information. You can have it summarize information. It can usually do that pretty good. And if you keep talking to it, you can talk it down into like some crazy position. And
Now you can.
eventually, yeah, right. That's what I mean by unstable. Like it starts off like with the best of intentions, the best of information. It's trying as hard as it can, and then you just keep talking to it. And like you're right. The best thing for the
Let's
earth is
revisit
probably
that in
like
15 years. Let's revisit this conversation in 15 years.
5.
Let's revisit this conversation in 5 years and then see if we're having the exact same answers to this. If it's still just giving you a general response and whatnot.
I don't know. I mean, it gets. I don't know. So, what do they define what they mean at all by?
This research could pave the way for improved testing protocols for algorithms, highlighting inherent differences between machine processing and human intelligence. Basically, what we said. The scientific article describing the result has been approved for public. Machines interpret medical scanning images more accurately than doctors, translate foreign languages, and may soon be able to drive cars more safely than humans. However, even the best algorithms do have a weakness. A research team said. Take an automated vehicle reading a road sign as an example. If someone has placed a sticker on the sign, this will not distract a human driver, but a machine may easily put it off because the sign is now different from the ones it was trained on. Now, this is where we just got into that conversation that me and Dave just said. That's right now. In 5 years, it will be able to decipher all of that because it will
also add to that we change over time. Last night, there was an article about a deepfake AI generated Taylor Swift porn that had.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. I just seen one.
How many times did you watch it?
No, I just seen one. No, I seen one tame image, and they were like, "You don't want to look at any of the rest of these images."
Yeah, what I thought was interesting was there's backlash, and I remember years ago when things were happening like.
But these images don't look real. The one that I saw, they were caricature looking, like it's art. It's not a.
What I'm glad at, there's backlash. I'm glad that and it's probably because Taylor Swift has a ton of Swifties. Yeah, I've told you all my connection to Taylor Swift, right? I have a cool connection.
Oh yeah. What's that?
In college, I got to play in a band for a couple of weeks, here and there, like at worship camp and stuff like, or at Christian camps and stuff. The bass player, his name was Amos. That's Taylor Swift's bass player now.
Nice.
Yeah, he couldn't point me out of a crowd. Don't worry, we weren't like
super famous.
but I played with Taylor Swift's bass
worked
player in
with,
college.
I worked-
We were actually in class together.
I worked with a guy for a long time who is now the and has been for about 15 years the lead guitarist for Saliva. Jonathan Montoya. Me and Jonathan Montoya
Nice.
worked for
Oh,
a long
wow.
time ago.
Nice.
Well, I don't know anybody famous, so I'm jealous.
Oh, I don't. Well, I guess
Oh, you
I can't say I know Amos.
Yeah, I used to know him.
All right.
I didn't even used to know. We were in the same sphere for a few.
So this algorithm stuff, I mean, that's just I saw that and I'm like, well, humans don't have stable algorithms. I mean,
No.
Dave can go through the exact same processes every day when he gets up and goes into his office, and he has probably the same routines that he does every day. So that is technically like an algorithm, but he doesn't do the same things in the same way every single
Right.
day, even if it's the same way, because sometimes obstacles come in the way and he uses that.
Right.
It's the algorithm, but it's, it's got changes into
So-
it, which makes it a new algorithm. So it could be 50 million different algorithms that he's
But
going
here's the-
through. And that's our human brain does the same thing.
Yeah, but we have a passive incentive system, which is don't get hurt and die. And the computer, it just has
Doesn't
a
have
score
that
system.
now because it's a baby, and our babies don't have that in
No,
their
what they
brains.
have-
Your children don't realize if I jump off the roof, I can
No.
fly. They don't realize that. Oh my God, don't
What
do
they-
that yet.
What they have is a points-based system of like the better your responses, the higher your score, the worse your responses, the lower your score. You want to have a better score. That's what AI has. That's how it trains. When you mess up on something, there's a consequence, and your brain is like, I'm not doing that again. That hurt. I busted my
But
arm. When AI
think
does
that-
it, there's no consequence other than like, oh, I got a low score. I'll just try harder.
If I'm reading this right, if
That
I'm
we
understanding
know.
this right,
Yeah.
as we change, because we do change as a society, will AI change?
Yes.
And can we exploit that
Well,
change
AI
then?
will change anyway.
Because I mean, we can say that America is a much different country than it was in the 1950s, right? Culturally,
Everything.
everything. What's AI going to look like in? I'll just go and say 50 years. Will it change? Will it adapt? Will it go? Which way
The
will it
little
go?
thought experiment I had earlier this week with JJ was I have been replaying Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PlayStation 5. I've already played through the story once, so I know what's going on. So I'm taking my time and doing everything. And he had this little cutscene the other day as I was sitting there, and the main character, Arthur Morgan, said something like it happens in like 1905, 1904, 1908, something like that. And they are outlaws from the 1800s,
Right.
cowboys that are going into the new world with cars and the industrial, and they're chasing them down. So he's going through this. It's very good. And he says something like, we're a dying breed. We've gone into this new century and we're being hunted down because there's no one like us anymore. We're a dying breed. And that got me thinking during that cutscene. I'm like, wow, how much did America change from 1900 to 1999? We completely changed. Oh my God, it was like a 180. And then I
Right.
started thinking, because we barely had automobiles in 1900, and in 1999 we've got the freaking internet. So now the thought experiment is we've got AI in 2020, 2024.
Right.
Where is it going to be in 2099? We won't be here. I will not
Right.
be here. But where is AI going to be for my grandchildren?
I mean, we may not even be talking about the same thing. It literally, AI may be a thing of the past and something totally different and ahead of it. I don't know, like synthetic, who knows what, like you just don't even have any way to really guess what people were going to come up with. But like we could have like biologically engineered synthetic robots or whatever that are
Synthetic
essentially
skin
alive.
over an exoskeleton with a neural net implant.
And then before we know it, we're living in Westworld.
The Terminator.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's give them guns. Let's give them guns and fight them and stop them now. That's what I say.
Give them guns, send them to Texas.
Deke,
They'll take care
this
of the
is the
border.
most important news of the next 2 minutes. Ben Shapiro is going to appear as a feature in the Facts music video by anti-woke rapper Tom McDonald.
Oh,
I
really?
bet you are a huge fan of Tom McDonald.
I actually like Tom McDonald.
I love Tom
I've
McDonald.
listened to some of his stuff.
Yeah, Tom McDonald. So in like a minute, I believe unless it dropped an hour ago, it says Friday at 9 a.m. and he must be using Central Texas time. That's what everybody should be using. So it should be in a minute. We should get the next Tom McDonald video featuring Ben Shapiro talking about facts. That's going to happen right now. And I guess we need to end the show as we always do. First of all, I'm going to apologize. After the show yesterday, Deacon and Dave were like, your audio is all screwed up. You're It's Windows. We fixed it yesterday, I think, because you guys haven't been complaining about it today.
You've been fine all day.
We
It
fixed
was
it.
a Windows setting that had gotten turned on. We found
Windows.
it was
Yeah,
adding
we did it.
its effects to the microphone. It's like,
Yeah,
I'll
bring
add
that
effects
shit
to your
on.
microphone. Like, no,
Mac
no,
doesn't
don't.
have that.
Well,
This guy.
You were giving me
This guy.
crap for the show.
Man, Mac. Okay. Guys, as we do at the end of every show, we are obligated to tell you dad jokes.
Wait a minute.
And you, oh, no.
I would just like to point out before you give us your joke that I am 4 for 4 on guessing the
Four.
correct answer for JJ's jokes this week. 4
Yeah?
for 4. I'm actually
I
5 for
I think
5
I was
because you did
3
2
for 4. I think I was 3 for 4 from the home audience.
Look,
from the home
nobody
audience.
promised they were going to be good jokes.
If you're
you
keeping
just get a
score at
joke.
home, okay, you just get a joke. JJ's like, all right, whatever, I'll take this one. That is a perfect example of me and JJ, yin and yang. JJ focuses on the stories. I make sure we always have a really good joke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, his is better than mine. All right. Why did the cookie call the ambulance, guys? Nothing? Oh, because it felt crummy.
I was gonna say something
yeah,
about him crumbled is
yeah, that's
because he saw him
booze.
crumbled.
Booze.
Yeah, that one was a terrible one, dude. What the crap. All right. So, Sinster, you've been doing some construction work in your house, and we talked about that last week and whatnot. But I know you probably know this, but everybody out there probably don't know. Not all construction work, you probably had fun while you were doing that, but not all construction work is equally enjoyable. Like, for example, if you enlarge a drilled hole, that's boring. But if you fasten pieces of metal together, it's riveting.
Hey, hold on, Dave. Before you go, my wife submitted a joke gave me a joke this morning, and she said, "Are you going to use this on the show?" And I said, "I don't know. I'll try." So here goes. My wife's joke. She got it on YouTube or something. What goes in hard and comes out wet and sticky?
I've heard this. What is this? What is it?
Chewing gum.
Oh, no, it's not what I thought.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That's okay. That's a grown.
Apparently some kid told that to his mom.
I know you started, and I was like,
we don't usually do dirty jokes around here.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
Dave.
yeah. So I was talking with one of the guys who camping last weekend, and he's working on getting his master angler in West Virginia. He was telling me all the rules and regulation. And I got to thinking, do you know what the best way to catch a fish is? Ask somebody to throw it to you.
Oh, okay. Did you get all of it? Just have all of them.
You get all of them.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching this morning. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning. YouTube.com at your two dads with underbars.
Underbar.
Underbar. Or rumble.com/JJW, which is where you should be going because the YouTube cut off Timcast last night because they were talking about Texas and the Civil War. So
Yeah.
don't trust YouTube. They lied to you and they're programming you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And as always,